anyway, the rest of the race. The first 400 laps of the race were mid as fuck. Let's be honest. Was it better than the spring? Like 100 times. Was it a good race? No.
No. The amount of guys that had to just punt lap cars to get by them was not good.
Yeah.
But
I think, one, you need a little bit more tire wear. Two, you need aero needs to not be as much of a deficit. You shouldn't be able to miss a corner and shift. But it wasn't as bad as the spring, so it feels like it's hard to tell whether it actually helped or the conditions were just better. Yeah. We got a lot of work to do still on the short track package. We did see a lot better race. I think some of it circumstantial. Things just kind of fell right. But, I mean, you did see passes for the lead. Denny passed Chase. Chase passed Kyle Larson. Guys passed each other.
Yeah.
But it just took a while. It took, 40, 50, 60 laps for passing to actually start happening. And when, you have stage breaks and stuff, it makes it tough.
Yeah. And this is going to sound really weird coming from me, but I definitely don't want to brush off the positives, which were guys could get the car squirrely up off turn 4. That was good to see. That was good to see. Now, most of it was Kyle Busch, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Bro, he had a rough day.
That was I still genuinely think, they missed the setup, but Kyle was in I do not give a fuck mode.
Yeah, BJ McLeod had him a day. He caught on fire, but he passed Kyle Busch straight up.
So that means he was already on fire.
Damn right.
The man BJ. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
go ahead. The positives. I want to hear it for the first time from you.
The cars could get squirrely, so there was a positive. Yeah. There were passes. Denny Hamlin on that first run, or the first stage, ran from, I believe he started 11th. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think he started further back than that, didn't he?
Did he? Okay. The more I hear this, the better it gets. So he started from at least 11th and made his way to the lead in the first stage.
It was 11th.
Was it?
It was 11th, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so he made his way from 11th to the lead in the first stage. That was great to see.
Yeah.
It was honestly kind of cool to see him end up with a straightaway lead at some point in the second stage. Yeah. I know that might not be the most interesting thing, but in this car with the way it was,
we didn't see it in the spring. Yeah,
no, we didn't.
You couldn't get away.
Yeah, so to see that and him actually be able to make it through lap cars, that was actually good to see.
Yeah. And that's what makes it even more disappointing for Denny is they had such a fast car.
Yeah, they did, and they blew it.
Oh my god,
they completely blew it.
They did. It's because he tweeted that shit about JD, man. Joe paid off his pit crew to screw him up. That's a NASCAR if I've ever heard one. Like I said, it's significantly better than the spring. Still got a lot of work to do. The end of the race, though, was compelling as all hell.
Yes.
Christopher Bell, first of all, I give it to him, man. Two guys I said after the race, I've given Bell a lot of shit. I've given Ross a lot of shit. I can't complain about either one of them. They did what they needed to do. And a lot of drivers don't have that ability sometimes. Bell, this is his second walk-off win in these playoffs. He doubled his career number of wins in just the playoffs and has taken himself from a B to C driver to, I would argue he's an A driver right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had this race won. There's a late yellow, and it put Chase Briscoe stays out. Cole Custer stays out. I was ready for the brake check of the century from Cole Custer.
Yeah.
On this restart. He didn't do it. He was racing like a man that needs a job because he's probably going to need one after this year. But it was kind of interesting because at Martinsville, caution comes out late. You got 70, 80 laps on the track. You're pitting. It was kind of interesting to see two guys stay out and actually be able to hold station and have guys who had two tires actually be able to mount a charge, but four tires eventually won. But there was a moment in this race, Chase Briscoe was going to make the Final Four. And I was ready to write my resignation from this podcast and my my exit speech for the sport if Chase Briscoe would have won this championship. I was ready. I was not having it. I was sitting there. It was 8 laps to go. I was like, Chase Briscoe's going to win this race.
Yeah,
I'm not watching the sport ever again. I can't. I thought it was gonna. I was like, man, I'm a young man. I got a lot of years left. I don't think I have that. I don't think I have the capacity to eat that much crow. I was not ready for it.
Well, here's the crazy thing about it is like, so we had those 2 guys that stay out. We have the 5, the 6, and what was the other car that took 2 tires? I don't remember. There was a third car that took 2 tires, and then Bell in the field on 4, and it turned into a dogfight. I mean, the 5 was also like the 20 was able to get by the 5. Obviously, the 5 was able to move forward. The 6. The 6 was in front of both of them at one point.
Some damn good racing.
Yeah.
Some damn good racing. I mean, these guys were going at it.
Yeah.
It was Brad locked his tire up going into turn 1. 500 lap race, at least 250 times. I swear to God. It was every corner. And Kyle Larson had enough of it. He was like, get this motherfucker the hell out of my way. Get his illegal car looking ass out of my way. I got a race to win. Kyle Larson was like, look, I screwed up winning a damn plate race this year. I ain't gonna screw up winning a Martinsville. I'm not gonna let this motherfucker screw me out of a Martinsville win. And he did. He did let him. Bell got by him. And once Briscoe got past, he was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, and we're not even thinking about before that. It was Blaney was trying to get up to Bell, so it never got like.
He was never going to get there.
No,
he got within a car length and he couldn't go for. He couldn't do anything with them.
Yeah, no,
those cars were too even.
The point is more that it was compelling for a lot of definitely the last. I would say the entirety of the last 100 laps was very compelling. I would say it wasn't always great racing, like I said, like
it was. Yeah, it was compelling. Yeah,
but it was compelling at the very least.
Yeah, like I said though, Ross Chastain is him. Ryan Blaney ain't. He's not that guy.
No, Ryan
Blaney does not have that dog in him. Certifiably, does not have that dog in him.
Yeah, Blaney is throughout this entire playoffs he's had the cars to make a dent in this playoffs, and
he don't have that dog in him.
He hasn't had that dog in him.
I just that's it. Blaney don't have that dog in him.
Blaney is destined. Blaney is destined for a career B- driver.
You got it. Yeah, I don't know, man. Anyway,
and I hate to say that about Ryan Blaney.
Back to the race. Done with this ain't the Ryan Blaney podcast. He's out of the playoffs. He's irrelevant now. He was irrelevant really before too.
He's been irrelevant most of the year, despite being on one of the best teams in the series this year.
Yeah. I mean, it was compelling there towards the end. I was having a good time. It was a lot of work for the same result at the end, but it was cool to see a guy work for it.
Yeah.
You know, and it was cool to see a guy work for it and make it happen, and give a call to Bell's crew chief. Who's his crew chief? I don't even know.
Stevens?
Oh yeah, that's who it is. Bro,
don't tell Dalton Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 4 tires, man. The old Earnhardt saying, I'm coming down, you're giving me 4 tires, I'm not leaving until you give it to me. Yeah. And it's worked every time. He won on tires at the Roval, he won on tires at Martinsville. In a car that we claim you can't pass on road courses and short tracks, he slapped 4 tires on it and did it both times. I give it to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, he did it on restarts, and that's about the only time he can consistently pass people.
But you got to execute. There's a lot of guys that don't execute. And Christopher Bell, I ain't going to put him in that top 1% like Ross, but I'll put him top 5.